There is an idea being shaped through the entertainment industry. That being the idea that wisdom and superhuman ability can be obtained only if you embrace the idea of sharing your mind and body with supernatural entities. The idea of humans acquiring super advanced abilities from genetic mutations, genetic alterations, and entity possession as being a blessing bestowed upon select individuals. It glorifies that which is evil in a good light. However, it seems that we are quickly approaching the times of Genesis 3, when the serpent Satan is going to deceive mankind into believing that he can be a god, by destroying the temple and mingling it with the little g gods, which are really devils. As far as trauma and childhood-based trauma being a possible link to the conditions of schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, and forms of psychosis, leads me to ask the question on why so much effort is spent on understanding and diagnosing the symptoms rather than investigating the behavior causes. In researching well-known cases in history and considering all possibilities of all shapes and forms leads to the heralded work done by Senator John W. DeCamp of Lincoln, Nebraska. His work is well known by the book published called The Franklin Cover-Up. The book deals with the subject of the shutdown of the Omaha, Nebraska Franklin Community Federal Credit Union, raided by federal agents in November 1988, which, in the face of opposition from local and state law enforcement, from the FBI, and from powerful Omaha World Herald newspaper,
the government, in the first place, I am not.
L. Ron Hubbard's self-help book, Dianetics, was first published in 1950, out of which grew the first Church of Scientology, incorporated in New Jersey in December of 1953. The California Scientology Church would follow 2 months later, in February of 1954. The CIA began Project MK-Ultra in an effort to discover mind control techniques by subjecting mental health patients to electroshock therapy, various forms of torture and abuse, and drugs, such as LSD.
Using unknowing Canadian citizens.
The conspiracy goes back to the 1930s, when the British sent Aldous Huxley, the author of A Brave New World, to the United States as a case officer for an operation to prepare the United States for mass dissemination of drugs. We will take this conspiracy apart step by step, from its small beginning with Huxley in California to the victimization of 15 million Americans today. With the Aquarian conspiracy, the British Opium War against the United States has come out into the open. The British had precedent for the carnal culture they imposed upon the United States. The pagan cult ceremonies of the decadent Egyptian and Roman empires. The following descriptions of cult ceremonies dating back to the Egyptian Isis priesthood of the 3rd millennium BC could just as well be a journalistic account of a hippie BN circa AD 1969. The acts or gestures that accompany the incantation constitute the rite of Isis. In these dances, the beating of drums and the rhythm of music and repetitive movements were helped by hallucinatory substances like hash or mezcal. These were consumed as adjuvants to create the trance and the hallucinations that were taken to be the visitations of God. The drugs were sacred and their knowledge was limited to the initiate, possibly because they have the illusion of satisfied desires and allow the innermost feelings to escape. These rites acquired during the execution.